Everybody remembers their first, right? I remember my very first repainting indicator. And I discovered it back when nobody was talking about what repainting indicators were, so I had to learn the hard way. I saw this thing called the inverse Fisher transform, and I thought I had struck gold. And then I tested it, and I noticed some weird things going on. But I looked past all her red flags, because that's what we do when we're in love, right? And I still went on to use that indicator in my actual real money trading. And when the relationship finally ended, she didn't take half, thankfully, but I did learn a few things. Hey, that's a cool story, VP. How about you talk about the indicator? So what we're looking at is a version of the indicator I just talked about. And oddly enough, it is called the Fisher No Repaint. So we're getting a bit in the weeds here. This is going to be a fun one, I think, because the indicator itself is very simple looking, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes here in terms of the history behind it and the settings and the results that we were able to come up with. You know, some good, some not so good. So let's jump right into things. Now, this was definitely created after 2004 because it is an improvement on a John Eller's indicator that was created in 2004. Now, no word if that indicator actually did repaint. I don't think it did, so why improve on it and then call it no repaint? I don't know. Like I said, we have a weird indicator profile series episode this week. You're just going to have to kind of roll with it. But this is a confirmation indicator, and the subtype, I would just call it a histogram because that's what it is. There's nothing else on it, and the histogram changes colors, and when it does, you know to make a move. Super easy. As is often the case, you might be able to find other versions to where you don't have the histogram, but it's so simple, why change it? And you can use it as an exit indicator. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but it certainly is possible. Now, before we go take a look at it, understand that tests are run when we run them, and market conditions are all different. These are just basic results for you to take and run with. But let's go ahead and take a look. It's super basic and super easy, and you have to like that. When the color changes, then you would go short in this case, and you would go long in this case, or you would exit your long position and then exit your short position. So as you can see, even on the example, it doesn't perform super good. But you can smooth this, and the blog I'm going to link down below shows you how to do that. And again, you're going to be adding other indicators to this if you are part of the No Nonsense Forex trading community. So as always, this is just a basic illustration of what the indicator does. But that's really all there is to talk about. Very, very simple. Now on to the overall results, which is where things get interesting. Starting off with the Euro USD. Pretty simple and pretty good. Actually, I like it when the default does relatively well because this number is generally just going to go higher and higher the more indicators you add to your algorithm. Now, when we move on to gold, this is where things get a bit crazy. So, let's not bother with this just yet. Let's talk about the daily chart. Now, we were able to turn a pig into a prince, but again, we always talk about this, at the expense of total trades. You know, sometimes when trades are too high, that is problematic, but too low is also very problematic because you have to remember too, no matter what your trading style is, if you are a no-nonsense Forex trader, you will be adding other indicators to this, which means this number can go nowhere but down. We add indicators to eliminate losses, which means you will also be eliminating trades in the process. And where'd my arrow go? 6 is probably going to be absolutely too low, because that 6 is easily going to turn into a 3 or a 2 or a 1. I would avoid this just in gold in general, because down here, you might notice this NA. Stonehill Forex was unable to even find a scenario with optimized settings that would actually turn this ROI into a positive number. That's how much this thing struggled on gold. So I always say, even if the results aren't great, you should still go test these out on your own. Maybe in this case, you can go ahead and skip it if you are a gold trader. But on to Bitcoin. gets interesting again. Much better on both fronts, but again, at the expense of total trades. That's pretty low. 7 in 3 months, if that goes down to, 3 or 4, it's not going to seem like much, especially if Bitcoin's all you trade. I think that's crazy if Bitcoin's all you trade, but if it's all you trade, again, you may want to look elsewhere or simply run your own test and see what happens. That really is the best way to go, but this is just kind of an idea of what to expect going forward. And real quick, before I forget, the optimized settings, and I've said this before, I'll say it one more time, are over here to the right. I cut them off on purpose so we can focus on this, and you can go look at them later if you want. Where you go do that is the Stonehill Forex blog that talks about the indicator that I am talking about right now. Now, 99% of you know this, but there's always a few people in the comments section that just don't seem to know where to find the optimized tweaks. That's where you find them. So, great segue. The links down below are going to be as follows. You're going to get a link to my blog on optimization, which features a video on how you can test these yourself through the MT4 Strategy Tester. Then the place you're probably going to want to go first, and that's going to be the deep dive on this indicator. It talks about the history, talks about the settings, talks about the tweaks. Anything you want to know about this guy is going to be there, and then the link to the indicator library where you can actually go download it. And we are starting to fire these out on a weekly clip, so if you like them and you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell. We have good indicators, bad indicators, weird indicators, so many of them out there, traders. And these videos are designed to help you become a better no-nonsense Forex trader. Don't miss out, but you know what to do now. Take the information we gave you, run with it, go to work, and go get it.